Hi, my name is Darren from HTJ.tax, and we're the team that seeks to demystify that sometimes confusing rule of international tax. And today we have the honor and privilege of speaking with Marios in Cyprus. Marios, could you please introduce yourself?
Of course. My name is Marios Giannakridis, and I am a senior tax manager at Total Serve Management Limited. Total Serve Group has been around for 53 years, and it's basically an umbrella of several different companies. It's basically a one-stop shop where someone can come here and receive any and all kind of professional services, either corporate, legal, audit, tax, pretty much the whole lot. We pride ourselves on being somewhere in the middle of small firms and big four firms, which gives us an advantageous position to cater to all clients' needs while also keeping our personal touch.
Fantastic. Thank you. So the EU has a blacklist, right? Or a list of non-cooperative jurisdictions. It also has a gray list, but let's talk about the blacklist. How does Cyprus treat structures that somehow leverage a jurisdiction on that blacklist?
Yeah, since you mentioned blacklist, I will also go a step further and talk about low tax jurisdictions. Until this year, Cyprus, being a member of the EU, if a country was in a blacklisted jurisdiction and there were payments made from Cyprus to that blacklisted jurisdiction in terms of interest or dividends or royalties, Cyprus had to withhold tax. This is not in the Cyprus tax legislation. If you're making payments to a non-blacklisted jurisdiction, then there is no obligation to withhold tax. But if it's blacklisted, you do. Recently, this year, our country has also introduced laws about payments to low tax jurisdictions, which are defined as any jurisdiction where the nominal tax rate, corporate tax rate, is less than half of Cyprus. If that's the case, then again, Cyprus has to make withholding of taxes in case of dividends. In case of interest and royalties, it does not have to withhold, but it cannot claim those expenses as tax deductible.
Wow. Okay.
Yep.
So less than half.
Cyprus does have tax provisions in its legislation about both blacklisted and both low tax jurisdictions.
Low tax. So less than half the corporate tax rate. What's the corporate tax rate in Cyprus right now?
Now it's 12.5, and it's expected to go to 15% next year.
Right. Okay.
So we're talking about 7.5%.
Less than 7.5%. That list will be pretty short, I guess. It'll be
maybe
basically
10, 12 jurisdictions, not so much.
Yeah, some Caribbean islands, Central America.
Japan, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Understood. And what about the other way? What about receiving income into Cyprus from those low tax or non-cooperative jurisdictions?
Yeah, it depends on what kind of income we're talking about. If we're talking about dividends, generally, dividends received by Cypriot companies from foreign companies are tax exempt, participation exemption. It goes meeting one of the following two conditions. Either the paying company is engaged in activities which produce business income, non-investment income, more than 50%, either directly or indirectly. That's the one condition. If that is not met, then we go to the second one, which says the paying country has to have an effective tax rate of at least half of that of Cyprus. If either of those two conditions are met, then dividends received by the Cypriot company are not taxed Cyprus. If neither of the conditions are met, then they will be subject to tax. If we're talking about any other kind of for interest or royalties, they're subject to corporate tax at 12.5. Next year is going to be 15%.
Okay.
Also to mention that capital gains are exempt in Cyprus. So if a Cyprus company is holding investments and it sells those investments, then those gains are not taxed.
Okay. That's good to know. So does it matter what percentage ownership the Cyprus taxpayer, whether individual or corporate, has of the company in the low tax jurisdiction or the non-cooperative jurisdiction? So are there like thresholds if it's a CFC versus if it's 10%, 15% or nothing at all?
Well, CFC is another issue. Cyprus had recently, I think from 2019, introduced exit taxation, CFC interest limitation rules, and general anti-avoidance rule. And as far as CFC goes, it needs to hold at least 50% directly or indirectly, and the company beneath it at least 50. It has to have at least 50% the Cyprus tax rate. If it's below that, then it's considered a CFC. And if profits are not distributed, then it's deemed that they are distributed and they are taxed at the level of the Cyprus company. And again, for CFC, we are talking about non-genuine transactions. So if the CFC is considered to be not doing a non-genuine transaction, it doesn't have any purpose of being there, it doesn't have enough substance, then CFC applies. But if it does have substance, if it's genuine, then CFC does not apply. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much more or less the same as any other country.
Okay, so to get the participation exemption, it doesn't matter what the threshold, what your ownership percentage is. Okay, that's good. Now, if the paying country is one on the blacklist, so there will go ahead.
It's the same. It doesn't matter if the parent country is in a blacklist jurisdiction. The dividends will be exempt as long as one of the two participation exception conditions is met. Well, but to be honest, in Cyprus, we don't usually see that. It's usually the other way around. I mean, a Cyprus company is paying dividends to the blacklisted jurisdiction, and that's where the problems lie. And this is where we had to do some major restructurings and advise the client to get them out of the picture or maybe redomicile them somewhere else.
Okay, makes sense. All right, thank you. So Marios, if someone wants to reach out to you and find out more, what's the best way to reach you?
Either through phone or through email, but it's usually done through emails. Available during normal office hours, but also 24/7. If someone wants to reach out, I will make time for my client. But basically, that's it. Simple.
What's your preferred email address?
Oh, it's marios.giannakritis@totalserve.eu.
Fantastic. Thank you.